Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a mixed media frenzy, and I'm not going to be in as much of a frenzy because I've let Vicki Boutin do the hard work of most of my background. Actually, when I saw, this is the sketch we're working from, and when I saw the pink background, it made me think of this page. I was hoping I had a page of it left. I'm running out. I'm almost killed this whole pad of pre-done mixed media, and I think this was from the Color Kaleidoscope collection. So I have a new one I'm ready to start on. So I'm committed to finishing this. Today I'm going to try to do a few things like what they've done. But my big thing is I printed my photo, and this is a photo I have digitally, so if I mess it up, I can do something else with it. And I'm going to use a gloss medium to kind of paste the photo down after I've done a few of the layers. So, I'm going to put the gloss medium under it and on top of it. And I don't know what it's going to do to those colors, but even if it messes it up, I can then print another photo and kind of tear it out, maybe with different contours, and put over it, and the running colors will actually just become part of my mixed media page. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is the kind of zigzag chevron looking pattern that's back there, and I'm going to do it maybe just slightly off center, and I'm going to kind of just brush some gesso on lightly through the stencil, not really trying to make a big impression or darken it. And this gesso kind of dries. I'll kind of show you what I'm doing here. Just working out of what's kind of stuck to the lid and going through this. I really want it to be very subtle. I didn't want anything that looked like I'd used texture paste or anything like that. So, and I'm fine with the brush strokes and with it being uneven in places. That's kind of part of what I'm going for here. So let me want to finish on one of those. Okay, so I've got that down. I can kind of lay that off to the side, and I think that's all I'm going to do with the gesso. My next layer is going to be this what I call chicken wire pattern. It's just depending on how you use the stencil, it could also be considered a honeycomb, or let's see if I can get that back in there. I may just have to throw that away, but in any case, I'll close it up and deal with it later. Let me clean some of this off my fingers, and that looks like it's drying. I'm going to kind of pat it down just to speed up the drying, and that will kind of blur any hard edges there, and I'll kind of spread that around. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do for this is get some, let me see if I can move my mat over under the camera. Let me stand up for a minute and check and make sure you can. Yes, you can. Okay. I'm going to use my Distress Oxide Hickory Smoke and just kind of rub it onto the mat. Spritz it with a little water. That's not really doing much. It may be too light, but if it is, I'll go get something darker. I may have something darker here. I've got this gathered twigs, and I've also got some memento. It's not going to work as well as oxide, but my idea is to press this down in the ink and then press it down on here. And I got a nice faint impression, so I like that. I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna try to get that fairly prevalent on there, like this. Okay, and that actually, because I used my fingers as I pressed it down, that actually colored some of the insides of the honeycomb. Not exactly what I was going for, but it's okay. All's fair in love and mixed media, right? So we're going here, and to avoid getting fingerprints, I think I'm gonna do this, and we'll see what that did. Kind of pick that up. It's good, but I didn't press down hard enough, or I didn't get enough on the. Let me add some of that. It's kind of a grayish brown. Let me do that. That's kind of wet, that. Press really hard. Okay, there we go. Now, because I like that so well, I'm gonna try to go back over and do that same thing up there. So, and it's going to go over what I did before, but it's gonna be a slightly different color, and I didn't try to match it up. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, I've got another stencil that I love to use when I'm trying to be somewhat abstract, and in the this has meaning to us. The journaling I probably will do, all the journaling I do on pages I make these days, I have some sort of reference to the COVID-19, but I don't try to overplay it. Let me kind of get that off. Okay, like I said, this next bit, I was going to use the gathered twigs. I've got this, it's an alphabet. You know what? I think I can improve the light. That's too bad that the first part of that was done with the light off. Okay. I could see it, so maybe you could too, hopefully. This is a wonky alphabet kind of thing, and I'm gonna lay it here and do some kind of pouncing through, not really trying to get too precise. There we go. Let me do some just a few of the symbols down here. I like this hashtag, so I'll do that, and I want to do a question mark there. Anyway, it's an alphabet for COVID-19 homeschooling. So that's my story, and I'll stick to it. And of course, Ava's way beyond her ABCs, but okay, let's see. The next thing I wanted to do, looking at this, is, and I've got it upside down, and you could actually, there is no right way, I'm sure. I want to use some paper strips, and I want to put them down with the gloss gel. I'm going to go ahead and do the paper strip underneath this. What this is golden gel medium soft gel gloss. And oh my gosh, oh John, I just spilled gesso, a whole jar of gesso on the floor. I need help. Huh? Yeah. There's a paper towel roll here, and we need to get it before it dries. Sorry about this, folks. I'm going to take a brief break to pick up the jar, and you'll probably need something wet. I have just gessoed the seat of the chair, and okay. I'm going to come back and try to get through this very quickly. I did not secure the lid on there as well as I thought I had, and I did it specifically so I wouldn't have any chance of spilling it, because it was full. Okay, so I'm going to quickly get some, and I'll be there with you in a minute, John. I'm going to put a vertical strip here of pattern paper. It just happened to be a strip of paper that I found on the table as I was cleaning up after Calvin Ball. Let me do, I want a strip of washi tape by it, and it's already kind of ripped. I'm going to rip it some more. Okay, let me kind of run this. I'm going to run this also vertically. And I'm going to add a little of this medium just to make sure it stays down, because sometimes washi wants to curl. Can you get something wet like the scrubber, the kitchen scrubber? Get it wet, and then you can wipe it up because it's going to dry. And I've got this washi that has light bulbs, and I thought I'd do it. It introduces a blue color and a green color to the mix, and that's kind of interesting. Let me put it down like that. Get some medium over it. Okay, and I want to add some of this bright pink. They've got, in the original, they've got these arrows pointing opposite directions. So I'm going to tear a piece of washi with the arrows going out here. And then I'll do one with the arrows going the opposite direction up here. Make sure that you're able to see all this. Okay, again, apply a little of the medium. Now, I'm going to do the photo right about here, and I'd like some black and white. I have a little tiny strip of washi that I might use right here to kind of separate those, but I don't want it to look too perfect. Let it kind of go off beyond that. You can see by this arm how much of the gesso I have on me. And you can imagine I have half a jar on the floor. They're vinyl floors with a nice deep texture, so that's not a good thing. There. Okay. But I'm committed to finishing this project. I'm putting the gel medium on the back side. I'm going to place it there. It's a little bit, it's buckling, so I'm going to have to press those buckles out of there. Okay, I'm going to wet my fingers, and it may add some unwanted color, but it'll just look like a distressed, kind of aged photo. Okay, I'm good with this. I think I've got the essence of the page. What I will probably do is write up some journaling and tear it out and put some of the gloss medium on top of it and kind of put it right there. And I will write it in a permanent pen. I've learned the other day that if I type it up, it won't, or the ink kind of smears when I put the medium over it. And I've experimented with a couple different mediums. What I'm doing here is just kind of going over the whole composition with the gel gloss. Okay, I'm gonna call that quits. I see an area, I'm having trouble getting things to close. I see an area right here where I feel like it needs something here and here, so I will probably look for some sort of embellishment that doesn't depart from the overall look. Since there's gold foil here, I may look for a gold foil heart or star or something like that, or I may die cut something. So this I may add to this, but essentially this is the finished product, and you were there. So thank you for watching. I apologize for cutting out this soon, but I have a monstrous disaster to go take care of. Bye. I'll see you next week on Mixed Media Frenzy.